Today's podcast is sponsored by the Roxy Movie Theater. Great service and the best popcorn you'll ever have. Don't miss our $5 Tuesdays and get caught up on our backlog of movies that you have been wanting to see. 8 screens and a spectacular open lobby, and may I say, the finest air hockey table known to man. 646 Highway 46 South in Dixon, Tennessee. See you at the movies. Hello RAHL fans, I'm Bill Cole, and today I'm speaking to you, the American listener. You see, I'm running for president of our country, and I think if you vote for me, we can make the world a better place. You may be asking yourself, Bill, are you even a citizen of this great country? And I answer to you, I don't think I am, but you know what? I don't think it matters. We have some problems in this great country of ours, and I have solutions. No platitudes, just real plans. I know you great, hard-working, lower-middle-class people are waiting for relief from our inflation crisis, and I do indeed have a solution. I will funnel all the federal money to the RAHL, and poof! Inflation is over. No more spending. Just enjoy the air hockey, and what a product we'll have! But Bill, what about the border crisis? Well, I have a plan for that. Kaio Ken's Jordan Cross will become our borderline czar, and I know with how unhinged he plays, I know that will deter people from invading our border like a rabid dog foaming at the mouth, barking at intruders from the fence. But Bill, there's war everywhere. How can I stop it? I'm glad you asked. You see, the world is missing the one thing they really need in their lives, and no, it isn't freedom, amnesty, the right to speak freely. No, it's air hockey. I plan to embark on the world's largest humanitarian mission ever seen as I partner with Dynamo to airdrop regulation RAHL tables across every war zone to cease all wars. Put down the weapons and pick up the battle. Elect me, and I will ensure that there are 2 air hockey tables in every American's garage. Elect me, and I will tell our government to focus on who is playing Kaio Ken tonight and give the RAHL your money. Elect me to be your guide through these troublesome times, and maybe even give you a laugh or two. Who knows? Elect Bill Cole for president for the love of the country. Yes, indeed.
It's time for the Roxy Air Hockey League podcast, starring Bill Cole.
Sweet mother of God, what an intro, and welcome to the podcast. This is Bill Cole. And with me on the show today is going to be Greg Hunt of Team Kaio Ken. There's a lot to discuss here on this podcast. But first, let's take you back to Open Point Tournament 3. 6-5, and what a goal! It's 6-6, GP situation. Whoever scores wins or keeps the title. It's within that margin now. John, this is... Oh no, and a slow roll!
What a way to lose. And Kaio Ken takes the win.
Oh my God in heaven.
By lucky little shot there.
I am firmly implanted in the rafters of the Roxy now as I have took off from the launch pad into the rafters and looking down upon the air hockey table. Kaio Ken has retained their championship. What a evening of matches. What a tournament. Indeed, it was a wonderful match there with Greg Hunt getting the victory over John. And Kaio Ken wins that series 2-1 in the series. And you have to say it was a little bit of bad luck there for John because it was a It was an off-putting hit there by Greg, and it kind of slowly got past him and in. You could hear Scott on the call there saying, "Oh, what a way to lose." Well, indeed it was a way to lose for sure. And Greg even afterwards said that he didn't even know it was a championship match, so it was good, at least for Kaio Ken, that he didn't even know. It was a wonderful Open Point Tournament 3, and you will be able to find the replay of it here on the Roxy Air Hockey League YouTube. Go check that out. There's some great matches in there. One of the things that stood out for sure was the Best. They are one of our regular teams, and the Best getting a win over Cracker and D-Hall, and that is helps propel them into the mid-pack as I look over the standings. And speaking of which, D-Hall was decided to change things up this tournament and brought in some new talent with Daria as a signing pre-Open Point Tournament 3. She is new to the air hockey thing, so there's going to be a little bit of growing pains as she figures out how to ascend to an appropriate competitive level here in the RAHL. And Dawson making his appearance again, and he really is starting to look better week in, week out as he participates in these tournaments and events here in the Roxy Air Hockey League. But solid efforts there from both of those new players, as well as a great performance by Andrew Hall. He just couldn't seem to get a win for his team, or at least propel them to a Game 3 situation in this Open Point Tournament 3. As stated earlier, Kaio Ken did keep the championship with their win over Jacked Up. Jacked Up had a wonderful tournament, getting their third series win against D-Hall in a wonderful matchup there. And John was playing well, Michaela playing well, and then eventually faced off against Kaio Ken, where they would unfortunately come up short. However, as I'm looking into the standings, they're sitting right there in third place, right below the Distractors with 8 points. So that third series victory really did help them, and of course the continuation of being at the tournaments and playing and getting used to the different opponents and the different styles, and they have certainly making themselves well known, and they were only 1 point away from taking that championship away from Kaio Ken. So you can only hope that Jacked Up has some great sights in there for their rankings in general with the Roxy Air Hockey League. And now it's time to look into the power rankings after such an Open Point Tournament 3. At first, we have Kaio Ken with their really close clutch match with Jacked Up and taking them out, and still remains at our first place spot. And number 2 is Jacked Up. Wonderful performance from them. They have certainly earned their keep to be second in the power rankings. John playing well. Michaela was very defensive this time around. Got a lot of points herself. Number 3, we have the Distractors with Scott and Ashley finding more chemistry down the line as we progress through this season here in the Roxy Air Hockey League. The Best is in our number 4th spot, with Aubrey and Ella really starting to turn it up with their 2 series victories and getting a shot against the Distractors. Team D-Hall unfortunately got lowered a little bit. They were mid-pack the last time we did these power rankings, but D-Hall is now 5th with the unfortunate two losses they suffered in Open Point Tournament 3. And finally, rounding out the power rankings after the Open Point Tournament 3, we have Cracker, who didn't really win and unfortunately couldn't play any longer. So that is our power rankings here on the Roxy Radio Podcast. Coming up next, we are going to have a statement from Greg Hunt about Open Point Tournament 3. Don't go away. Out now on Steam is a retro-inspired hockey game made by our very own Jordan Cross. It's Light the Lamp Hockey. This 3-on-3 hockey game features all the nuances of hockey, yet simple to play and fun for all ages. Now you can add any team with mod mode and start the league you've always dreamed about. Light the Lamp Hockey, only on PC through Steam and itch.io Marketplace. Hello and welcome back to the Roxy Radio Podcast. I'm Bill Cole, and on the Roxy Movie Theater hotline right now is Kaio Ken's own Greg Hunt. Greg Hunt, welcome to the show.
Hey, how y'all doing?
I'm doing splendid. I'm just kind of hanging by the rafters still from that 6-6 GP situation you had with John of Jacked Up. Now, can you walk us through what you were thinking there, Greg?
Oh, well, he had to serve on me, so I just knew if I could get the puck back, I'd be all right. You know, most of my goals scored on me is when people's their serving shot. A lot less percentage in volleys that I get scored on. But yeah, I mean, shoot, give it up to Jacked Up, man. I didn't even realize it was for the championship. You know, I was off in my own little world, I had no clue, and then afterwards I found out, and I was like, holy smokes, it would have been even more intense if I knew that. But I mean, shoot, Jacked Up, dude, they got to be. I'll talk to Jordan about it, but I think they might be the rookie team of the year. I don't know. They're something else. They come out of nowhere. They've grown from the first week, or the first tournament, shall I say. So they're definitely good. They'll be a team to reckon with. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy we won. I didn't. The 6-6 was intense, man. I got the puck back, and I missed a couple shots I felt like I should have got, and then he. Thankfully, he scored on himself. So, I mean, that's a terrible way to end the championship, but, I mean, it was, you got to take it how you can get it, you know.
Absolutely, and I think you're thinking the same thing that I was thinking, Greg, because I put Jacked Up, and I know you're listening to the radio show, I put them on the power rankings as number 2, right behind Kaio Ken. I just think that they had everything in place to take the championship away from Kaio Ken tonight, but it just came down to that clutch factor. And like you were saying there, with not knowing it was the championship, I think if you would have known it was the championship, it would have been even more intense for you. So maybe it did work out there in the end.
Right. I like to think I'm a clutch guy, but man, you just never know. From night to night, just depends. I'm not consistent enough, I guess. I got a lot. I don't know. Sometimes I'd rather Jordan be in that spot. So.
I wonder if I can get Jordan on the line to hear his thoughts about that, because I'm sure he's probably like, no, probably not. but
Jordan's anchor of this thing, man. I enjoy playing with Jordan. That's OG Kaio Ken, man. That's I don't know, but I guess some big news to bring up. I might wait till the end of this to let you know. So.
Yes, hold that thought there, Greg, because we're still going to talk about Kaio Ken's play for the tournament. Let's see. I mean, what did you guys think about your overall performance there? I did talk to Jordan earlier, and he said it didn't feel like Kaio Ken mostly through that event, but for some reason, you guys were dropping game ones like crazy, but would somehow find a rhythm and then dig in and then get those wins. What did you think about your performance, at least in contrast with Jordan?
I feel like a lot of goals go, on me. And I kind of put Jordan in a difficult situation, I think at one point we were down 3-0. Jordan came up, got us back up to, I think, 3-3. So that was clutch. That was the game 2, right after we just got smacked in the first game. I don't know what it was. If you're a team going against us, you must win game 1. Period. You have to, because it is so hard to beat Kaio Ken 2 games in a row. Knock on wood. It's just hard. We have a good time. And the way Jordan and I gel, where I slow down the pace, like I was explaining to one of my good buddies, like I slow down the pace. I'll piss you off, and Jordan will put you in panic mode. He'll have your heart racing. And if you try to match up with Jordan's speed, you're going to lose. So they're just going from somebody that slows it down like I do, and someone that's so fast, berserker style, it's hard. It's hard to go against that. But our overall performance, I mean, God, game one, trash. Game one, we both sucked. Jordan and I both. We just could not get our rhythm. It didn't make sense all that night. In game two, I know. Game two, I like you got a 7-0 shutout on the defending champions in game two, making go to game three. And I'm pretty sure in that game three, we went down like 2-0 or 3-0, and I want to say that was the game that Jordan clutched because I couldn't do nothing. And then Jordan got the momentum back on our side, and we were both able to finish that game out. But yeah, now it's we didn't play as well as we normally do. That's for sure.
Indeed, and the match he was talking about was a game. I believe it was game 2 with the jacked up where Jordan does the cross your heart, and then everybody goes "Ah!" And then you didn't see it on camera, but Jordan does shoulder check the projection door, rattling the foundation of the Roxy. But
that was hype.
that
was hype.
Quite the moment. I know for sure that I got sent back 6 feet from my seat. Like I felt like 2 drop kicks repeatedly into my chest as I went backwards and had to recover, because what a moment that was. That's the Kaio Ken we've been wanting to see, the peanut butter and jelly combination of Kaio Ken that we've originally seen since season 1 onward. But Greg, just probably a more random note there, but how do you feel about hand serves?
Hand serves, oh buddy. Man, I hate hand serves. And most importantly why I hate them is because I get scored on a lot by hand serves. They're hard to defend. You can be very accurate. If you can, I've tried it. I've tried practicing with it, and I'm not that good with it. But like Matt Langford, excellent. Like Ben Cross doesn't have a hand serve; he has a paddle serve. And when Ben gets back on his game and gets knocked some of that rust off, he is the best at it. Period, hands down. Because he can control that speed so well with it, and he's very accurate. But yeah, and then we got Scott, the distractors, man. He's got really good with him. So I hate hand serves, but as much as I would not like them to have it in the game, it's another kryptonite for me. So if it creates more competition for me, then I'm game for it.
Indeed, Greg Hunt talking about Ben Cross there of Team El Barto. We haven't seen them or him since I believe it was Open Point Tournament 2, where it was just a wild night. We'll probably talk more about that one later. But any team that you've just been hankering to play against there, Greg, at least for Team Kaio Ken, what do you think would be a good match for them going forward into the season?
Oh man, it's got to be. Which I mean, I've got jacked up number 2, and in the power rankings, that's Bill Cole's power rankings. But I mean, in all honesty, I think 1 and 2 is between Kaio Ken and Death Kwon Do. Where they're at, I don't know. But they've missed the last couple tournaments. They got stomped by us, 2 and 3 tournaments ago. They just haven't showed back up, so I don't know what's going on. But they definitely need to get back. They're a great team, and I love playing against them. Matt Langford, especially. He's really good.
Greg Hunt just seeking the ultimate challenge, calling out Death Kwon Do here on this podcast. And I think it'd be a wonderful matchup. It'd be great to see Death Kwon Do back in the building. Who knows what's going on there, but I imagine the hankering for air hockey is probably coming to Matt Langford's doorstep sooner or later. And it would be great to see him back, especially at the Halloween tournament on October 12th. But we'll take a quick break and be back here with Greg as we reminisce about the old RHL and how how they are also similar to the new RHL. So we'll be back here shortly. Want to become a sponsor for the Roxy Air Hockey League? Well, join our RAHL Supporter Patreon for $5 a month. What are you waiting for? Great exposure for you and your business, and of course supports the Roxy Air Hockey League shows and our precious quarter fund. Be featured on all of our tournaments and podcasts. Become an RHL supporter today. We welcome you back here to the Roxy Radio podcast with me, Bill Cole, and friends. Right now, my friend is Greg Hunt. He's joining us on the Roxy Movie Theater hotline. And Greg, over the break, we were talking, and you've got some special breaking news here for the Roxy Air Hockey League.
Yeah, we got a new team coming. It's going to be old RHL player Matt Hall, an OG coming with a to-be-determined partner. So it's going to be a surprise. He's excited for it. He thinks they're going to be very successful, which they could be. He was one of the ones that was successful with his hand serves. So now we got another hand server in here, which is terrible. But hey, building up the league, and it's supposed to be an exciting team. He's been talking that mouth that he's over here ready to take on Kaio Ken. We'll see how that works out for him.
Indeed, and as you've heard it here from live on the Roxy Movie Theater hotline, Greg Hunt did divulge the information that Matt Hall will be returning to the RHL after a probably 13, 14-year hiatus. The last time we saw him, I believe, was Season 4. He made a couple appearances and indeed used some hand serves to utmost success. So it'll be great to see him back on the table. We'll have to figure out what his team name is and, more importantly, his partner as time goes on. But let's pivot here into our main segment of the podcast. It's called The Same Old RHL. It's the title of this episode, and it's more of like the RHL. It's been forever. We started this in 2006. Jordan and Greg, after work, they'd start playing air hockey, and then slowly but surely we started having employees play, and then tournaments, and then eventually championships being made. And the first McGee Cup was made in Season 3 with out of large popcorn buckets. Greg, do you remember all this?
Oh man, like it was yesterday.
Crazy amount of stuff. If we go back in time into 2006, the Seasons 1 and 2 are kind of like how it is now. We played a bunch of tournaments and determined points decided on how far you made it into a tournament, and it was awarded thus with how long someone advanced. And Season 3 onward, we started doing seasons and playing 2 games a night every Saturday until eventually, we had our clear 8 qualifying teams to go for the McGee Cup. And, a lot has changed since then. We've all got a lot older, and time is more limited. So I think turning back into these tournament events is almost a natural evolution for this whole league, because frankly it's all about having fun to us and finding the best challenge, and what better way to do it than these like tournaments, and then of course challenge nights where we kind of mix things up and we challenge each other and put whatever stipulations you want, but which we haven't really got to the bottom of the well of that yet, but I imagine it will be there eventually. But Greg, how much has changed and how much has stayed the same here at the Roxy Air Hockey League? Like, is it the same problems as it was before, or is it just has things been different? Are we all a lot more sensitive to the problems? What do we want out of the Roxy Air Hockey League? Maybe that's the question I'm trying to to ask on behalf of all the veterans that want to come back and maybe are on the fence?
Consistency, I would say. Uh, just a lot of new teams, a lot of young players taking it serious. I mean, it's their hockey, but to us, it is a battle. To the OGs, it's a battle. To the newer guys, they haven't got it built into their blood yet. But with that comes time. So really, just the new teams is kind of different. Having this many new teams and new faces, and a lot of people I don't even know their names. But I do know Kaio Ken is probably the fan favorite team because we usually get the most audience, and it's usually the quietest when we're playing because everybody's tuned in, ready to see what's happening. I mean, how can you not? You got Jordan over here going berserker mode, man. Jordan's an exciting player to watch. He is by far one of the most exciting. I think I'm pretty boring. I slow the game down so much. I'm probably a pretty boring player, but Jordan's super exciting. I know I'm on his team, and I've got to live it every game because he'll see me in the background and see me like, oh, man, he's got me all over the place in my watch. So I think we're probably the most exciting team out of everybody.
Indeed, it's been 12 years since the Roxy Air Hockey League had its last game, which was between Muff Cabbage and Kaio Ken. Please forgive. I should have said, hide the kids whenever I start talking about Team Muff Cabbage, but I apologize to all you family people out there. But anyway, and pretty much after that, we all started having families, and that's everything kind of disappeared. But here we are, 12 years later, kind of doing the same old thing that as it was before. I think it's interesting that after all this time, how you jump back into air hockey and play at a high level almost instantly is one of those crazy mysteries of life. I don't think Jordan had any warm up time whenever he got back on the table, but he just fell right back into it. It is interesting that all of a sudden you can just turn it on like that. But just as what is one of your favorite moments ever in Roxy Air Hockey League history, Greg? Is it winning against Cream Dream in season 2? Is it winning with Kevin Eppers in season 6? What is one of your favorite moments?
Kevin Reynolds.
Kevin Reynolds? Was that?
Yeah, Kevin.
Oh, that's right. It was Kevin Reynolds. I'm sorry.
That's Kevin Eppers was the knuckle buster.
That's right. He was. Oh man, miss Kevin Eppers. Kevin, give us a call.
Yeah, that's right. Kevin Eppers is him and I think Jared.
Yeah, we're not Team White Dragon.
Yeah, them two are the reason why I hold the paddle up the way I hold it. I got tired of my knuckles being split open. So that's why I hold the paddle like I do. I've kind of just I fell in love with how I hold it. So I guess technically I need to tell them thank you, but I need them to get back to the table so they can get smacked by Kaio Ken.
So many crazy moments. Greg, do you remember punching a hole through the wall?
Yeah, I mean, when you said one of my favorite moments, I never answered that because I was thinking about that moment. It's not one of my most favorite moments.
I don't think it is your favorite moment.
I feel like I may have ended the RHL for 12 years because of that. I was a different person back then. That's pre-kids. And probably higher testosterone than now. But, yeah, it's not one of my best moments, that's for sure. I know we lost in the championship. Or no, not in the championship. We lost like second round.
I remember that because we did have to stop the broadcast. because we were like, oh God. And funny enough, Matt Hall was patching that wall up.
That's right.
He was talking about that.
He was helping us patch it up and everything, and he had one arm at the time. He had one in the sling. But I know he thinks he's going to come into the RHL and with a mysterious person and make waves. Well, I'm going to tell you, he's got a big thing coming if he thinks he's going to just slap Kaio Ken around. That's for sure. That goes to any team. If you think we're going to smack Kaio Ken, you're going to have a rude awakening. That's for sure. I'm just pretty confident. My partner Jordan. I know when I'm playing bad, Jordan turns it on. Vice versa, if he's playing bad, I'm able to turn it on. We work well together, except for the last tournament in the first games. It's like we were playing left-handed or something. But I know we can't have many nights of that. That's for sure. We lost too much. Ultimately, we won a championship, but we went to game 3 too many times. I like to go ahead and just get it knocked out first 2 games, get it over with, get that stress out of the way and move on to the next round. But game 3 is never. It's exciting for the fans to watch, but for the players, it's nerve wracking. So I'm just glad I'm on this side of Kaio Ken and not the other. That's for sure.
Jordan was telling me some time ago about once we started introducing the lights to the broadcast and how different the game felt once we started putting the lights on the table. I feel like once we started making it more of a legit event is when we started seeing the greatest moments. We'll always talk about, in the past it's such a small thing, but we can't understate it that once you're on that table and you have the lights on you, it's a whole different feeling than it is when you're playing with like a friend or maybe a night excursion to the Roxy or something. What do you think about that, Greg?
It's definitely bringing new dynamics to the game. It's made it more Friday Night Lights type thing. It's made it nice. It's made it more competitive, and it's definitely helped the game. That's for sure. And I would say, I guess to answer your question from earlier, I've been sitting there thinking about my favorite time, and I would say, I've got a few. Season 1, season 2 went in with Jordan. And then season 3 lost. Season 4 he went with Matt Langford, and they were called Doomsday. And they lived up to the name in season 4, that's for sure, because they believe they beat me and Kevin in the championship.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that was our first championship we lost. So I think season 3 we got put out before that. I can't remember. But probably season 5, winning it with Kevin Reynolds, taking out Doomsday, was probably one of my favorite moments. That's my old partner, Jordan, kind of the grass is greener on the other side, he's got to give a little taste of it. Season 1 and 2, Jordan, he carried the team. He was by far the MVP of those seasons. I didn't really start picking up until midway through season 2, like toward the end of season 2, and then season 3 is when I took off. Being a good striker and stuff. And then that's been history since. I know we definitely need Death Blondeau back in. And I like to play people at their best. And Death Blondeau, honestly, Matt Langford, I don't know why you haven't teamed up with Ben Cross. That is a team. Ben is on, and Matt is on. That was a very hard team to beat. So I don't know why he hasn't explored free agency or tried to make a trade. Hit the trade block, try to get Ben over there because that would be a team, But besides that, they need to get off the couch and get their asses back. Kaio Ken's looking to smack them again, So I'm still a little salty them beating us in the championship. In tournament 2, I believe. So, yeah, no, let me look at that.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have left here with Greg Hunt. We'll take a short break and come back and wrap up the podcast here on Roxy Radio. We'd like to have a special thanks for our RAHL supporters right now. Greg Hunt, we thank you for supporting the broadcast and subsequent shows. For more information on supporting the Roxy Air Hockey League, join our Patreon. That should be in the description below. We welcome you back here to the Roxy Radio Podcast. This is the RHL Radio Podcast with me, Bill Cole. And we're just going to go over some rankings here, and then we will wrap up for the day. Looking at the tournament team points after Open Point Tournament 3. Number 1, our champions, Kaio Ken, with 13 points and 9 victories. Distractors, second place, 10 points, 6 series victories. Jacked Up, number 3, 8 points, 3 victories. The Best, 6 points, 2 series victories. 5th, Death Kwon Do, 5 points, 3 series victories. D-Hall at number 6, 4 points, 2 series victories. 7, Neon Dragons, 4 points, 1 series victory. And finally, the Gallic Goons, rounding off our number 8th place with 3 points and 2 series victories. Don't miss our Halloween tournament, October 12th, 7:30, live from the Roxy Instagram. Roxy Air Hockey League Instagram, and don't miss our podcast next week. We'll try to get another episode in before we get into the actual tournament for October 12th, and we'll go ahead and wrap things up here at the RHL Radio Podcast. I'm Bill Cole, and we shall see you next time here on the podcast.